So on the car ride back, you have to not. So she drives you back, and this time it's just the two of you, because they figure they don't need like an extra person for just the drive. And I think she tries to keep up some type, like I think like as last time, she still kind of wants to engage in some type of pleasantry with you.
I'll try. I'll do my best.
And again, she smiles at you, and I think she continues to see you as like a little wounded, not a puppy, because Willie doesn't look like a puppy, but some type of wounded, skinny stray dog or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I totally get that, and I'm thinking, I am going to say it because, this is the real world. Angela, this is going to sound really stupid because there's literally nothing in it except for, like socks or stuff like that. But could you make sure that they don't just, toss out my bag or anything like that? There's just keep it around for me to get.
Yeah, I think she smiles at that and says, "Yeah, of course."
Thanks. And then I'm really gonna like sink into myself and like look forward.
So she'll drop you off, and I think there is this. I think there does have to be like a question of like, you're getting back there, and there is a chance for, there's a chance for Lee to kind of thinks maybe kind of caught onto something being off.
Well, I'm actually have one last question for Angela. I'm going to say, I'm going to, as I, get out into the semi-desert, dusty, hilly, highway side or country road side there, and I'm kind of looking across to where I would actually get onto the compound out here. I don't even know if there's a fence at the outskirts like this, but if there is, it's probably nothing, too high tech or problematic.
Yeah, I think we talked about there's like a little fence, but it's not to keep. It's a very basic fence.
Yeah,
it's
just
not
a property
like,
line kind of thing. So yeah. I get that. So I'm going to take off one shoe. I'm going to, kind of try to muss myself up a little bit. And I kind of pick up some dirt or sand, and I realize I don't really know what I'm doing with this or how it would work. And I kind of look up at Angela and I say, I gotta look kind of messed up.
Yeah. So she smiles, and she will kind of. I think she'll I think do this pretty gently, like make it look like you've had a rough time, like stumbled, fall.
Mm-hmm. And I totally get it. I'm kind of like I'm real happy about this at first, and then I'll finish as she's kind of looks back, probably be Angela for a second. She kind of looks back at her handiwork, and I'll kind of go, maybe like right here.
Okay. So she'll say, you're right, it's probably for the best. And then she'll just do it quickly.
Oh, man. Quickly. Right hook. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh. That's intense.
And but she'll like immediately say like sorry.
Mm-hmm.
She does apologize.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm just gonna do like a like a 540 almost, and go over sideways. I've got no capacity to tolerate that whatsoever. And distantly, the last thing I hear is sorry.
and and then she's with you, and then your next consciousness, like you're kind of slumped on the ground, and she's looking at you and making sure,
No,
like you're all right.
go.
Okay, she nods, she pats you on the shoulder, and says, "I'll see you soon," and then heads out.
Good enough.
So let's then. I'm trying to get better at kind of jumping back and forth.
I am so deprived of gratitude right now.
I find it harder on the screen than I do in person to kind of do the fast cutting.
But I know exactly what you mean, actually.
Yeah. So let's hold off with Willie where he's at, and then we'll see gratitude. So I think that's a good spot. Totally. Even though we didn't have any rolls or anything, I think that was fine. So gratitude has been with Frank. She told him this story about being a victim of intimate partner violence, which he seems to have believed, but also seems to have maybe had not a great. I mean, it seems to have triggered something in him, saying that he feels he needs to protect her. So you're driving along. It's nighttime, and leaving Bulwark. You're out of the city, and I think he's quiet for a while. Because he did mention, he did say like, "Oh, I'd like to go back and take care of whoever,
right,
whoever did that to you," and you kind of talked him out of that. So after that, he's kind of quiet. I think he keeps, every once in a while he'll look to see how you're doing and then give you a big smile. And eventually, it's sort of, you're now maybe like an hour, 2 hours outside of Bulwark, and he's like, I was hoping to drive through the night, but I'm just feeling a little tired. I think it's safest if we stop.
Gratitude's like, she's probably nodding off at the point that he says this, not because she wants to, but because she's, and so she kind of like jolts up and she's like, "Stop where?"
"Oh, fine. There must be a nice enough place coming up."
And she's like, "Listen, I don't really have, I don't think we should stop. I need to, I want to get somewhere that I can feel really safe at as soon as possible, I mean, and I appreciate your kindness, but I don't know. She's trying to figure out a nice way to say, I don't want to stay in a hotel room with you."
Yeah.
But, so I don't know. I'm not a woman, so I don't know how women say these things, because they are very, they are, I think, forced to develop extremely subtle strategies of telling people no who don't want to hear it, right? And so she, in some ways, like saying no to him in a way that won't make him mad, which I'm not that good at, but she's very good at, because she's had to deal with a lot of men like this.
No, I think that's fair, and I think that like he doesn't. I think he like. Well, I think he'll say this then to that, which is, well, then you're gonna have to promise to keep some conversation going to keep me awake.
Okay. Yeah. She says, okay. Yeah. And she kind of like, bites down on this part of her hand for a second, and, to the point where it hurts a bit. And then she starts telling a story about, like, when she was a kid and she went on some trip with her parents or something, and just goes into some long, like, really not that interesting yarn about, some childhood thing that has nothing to do with violence or abuse or anything of the sort, just like as if we were on a road trip together.
Okay.
And the whole time she's like trying to make her, she probably at some point they probably had to pull over so she can throw up, because she was very, adrenaline filled and all that. So I'm sure, maybe they've had to do that. And so at this point she's like completely out of her mind, feeling horrible. But yeah, she's telling this kind of story. So
yeah, I like that. Yeah, I see that. And he gets really into it. He's asking all the details, and he'll pick up on like, he's picking up on some like thread, and he's sort of, I think, forcing Gratitude to like elaborate.
Oh yeah.
Much
more than she wanted to about this sort of.
The only thing worse than a sociopath is a good at it sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really eating it up, and he's kind of smiling, and he's not trying to. It doesn't seem like he's trying to catch her out, but he'll refer back to something she said like way at the beginning.
Yeah,
as if
and
he's like,
actually, she is telling him truthful things, right? Like she is actually talking about something that did happen. Because at some point in her childhood, she had nice things happen. It wasn't all bad. So she's telling this stuff because it's easier to tell, truthful things that happened a long time ago. And, she can expand like everyone does when you're telling a story from when you were a child. You fill in a lot of I think there's about 10% truth and 90% just assuming things when you, yeah.
Yeah. And so it maybe feels a little bit like, and so maybe Gratitude is a little bit like, is he trying to catch me out? But it does kind of come across as being kind of this sort of genuine, like, if in overly intense interest in what she's saying.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm kind of saying, and I'm not. I don't want to second guess myself. So we'll say that you get to the point where you stop to fill up with gas again in the middle of the night, and then dawn breaks, and you're headed into you're getting into the metropolitan area of another one of these I imagine Bulwark as being somewhat like I've imagined it being kind of like Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Midwest, Ohio type of thing. So there's you drive a couple hours, and you drive 6-7 hours, and you're like in another one of these cities that's sort of the same but has a little bit of difference, went through similar history, so but you're not in Bulwark, but you're getting into the metropolitan area of this other city.
Yeah.
And traffic is picking up, and there's now like people who are on the highway with you who are on their way to work in this other city or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of regular, all this, the highway has been pretty empty except for like you guys and like, big rigs. But now you're kind of getting to this other city, and he says, I feel, we've got to figure out, he'll wait till like there's a pause, like in your talking or something. And he's like, well, I've got to find a place to clean up and get ready to make my rounds for today. But we got to figure out what to do with you.
Okay. This is at the point where she is going to tell a lie, and she's going to say, I have a cousin, she makes up a story about she has like a cousin who lives in this city, whatever it's called. Now, no, this is bad because I said any city. And that's not, no. That doesn't work. Yeah. And exactly. So actually she starts this she starts assertively saying something, but she doesn't even get to, the cousin thing. But then she's like, she kind of, chokes off the words and then says, well, I have a bit of cash. I think, I can figure my way from here. You could just drop me off at like basically anywhere, like a motel or anything, and she must know people in some other city, maybe not this one, but maybe she now can, she's thinking about how she can navigate to a place where she knows people, maybe even to her parents or something. I don't know, but yeah. So
he's gonna say, I just wouldn't feel right just leaving you to yourself. Look at the trouble you got yourself in.
Oh no, yeah.
If you wanted, I'd be happy to drop you off at the police station here, and maybe they can help sort things out
Oh
for
my
you.
God, yeah, this guy is horrible. Yeah.
But otherwise,
So where are we?
I think you should stay with me.
Okay, where are we in like we're in traffic?
It's starting to get into like it's not like heavy traffic, but like there's definitely like other people who live in this like suburbs who are now going into their jobs, or it's you live near like Springfield, right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like the high, like getting to be like what the highway, what like what like 91 is like, like at like 6 a.m.
Okay.
That is
yeah.
As you get not like heavy traffic at all, but it's being used. There's never not a car, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. She says, well, where are you heading?
Well, after I make my rounds here, my circuit takes me all over, but we can I think, young lady, the choices you've been making have led you to some bad places and around some bad people. I think it'd do you good to spend some time with some good people for a little while.
Yeah, so gratitude is kind of like
someone who's going to protect you better than you can protect yourself.
Yeah, gratitude, she's clutching that knife. She's like, her head is kind of spinning, and she says, "No, I mean, I get that. I know. I mean, where are you heading to right now? I just want to know, am I going to be able to go to the bathroom and clean up? I mean,
of course, I've got a room already booked at the Hilton.
Okay. Yeah, gratitude is just waiting until
paid for by the company.
Yeah, I don't know about the company thing. Yeah, and gratitude is like, this is not good.